to PTPioneer.com, your #1 resource for getting started as a personal trainer. Today we're going to be doing a personal training certification review called the NSCA, and you guys have probably heard of it. I've talked about it a lot on my website. It is one of the most recognized certifications in the industry and is one of my personal favorites as well. So let's get started on some of the general information on the certification so you can find out if it's the right one for you. After this video, you should check out my website. I have an article on my top 10 certifications so you can find out the perfect one for you, for your type of training that you want to do and what you want to accomplish as a personal trainer once you become one. So check that out. I also have discount codes and study guides on some of the top certifications, as well as comparison articles like NSCA versus NASM and the differences between those, but this is just a review on the certification alone. So to get started, they've been around since 1978, so they're actually one of the oldest certifications in the industry right now. They were actually the first to get accredited by the NCCA, and that's kind of a standard now. Most employers don't accept certifications that aren't accredited by some body, and NCCA is the most reputable of those agencies. So they were actually the first people to get accredited by the NCCA. They do have a more advanced CSCS certification, and I also have a review of that on my website as well. And they kind of have similar focuses. So let me talk a little bit more about the general information, then I'm going to talk about the overall focus of the certification, then we'll dive into the tests and the study materials that they provide you. So just like most certifications, you need to be CPR and AED certified, as well as be 18 years old and have a high school diploma in order to apply to buy the study materials and take the test. Overall, it's a very sports-oriented certification, and that's because it kind of leads into the CSCS, which is very sport performance-oriented as well. So if you know you're going to be working with college or high school athletes or even other athletes, or do sports training for yourself or for your friends, this might be a good certification for you. If you're going to be doing other stuff, like working with elderly individuals and doing corrective exercise, this might not be the best one for you. And once again, I would check out my article on the top 10 to figure out which one is the perfect one for you and your training style. In terms of the test is definitely one of the hardest tests in the whole entire personal training industry. It only has about a 54% pass rate, and that's the lowest in the industry. The test is 140 questions, and you have 3 full hours to complete the test. I advise studying for at least 6 months, especially if you don't have any prior knowledge of anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, or exercise science. Give it at least 6 months of solid studying before you take the test because it has such a low pass rate. Another reason it might have such a low pass rate is because they only provide one study material, and that's the giant textbook that they provide you is the only thing that they provide you to study out of. So if you're not very good at studying out of a book, if you're more of a visual or kinesthetic learner, this might not be the best certification for you just because they only provide textbooks. So it's kind of like a college course. They just plop a big textbook in your hand, expect you to learn it, but without the lectures with the teacher. So there's no visual aspect of it, no kinesthetic learning, just book learning. And the textbook costs from their website about $90. So in order to take the test, there's 2 different payment options. If you're a member with NSCA, it's going to cost you around $250. If you're not a member with them, it's going to cost about $300. So if you're not a member, expect to pay about $400 to $450 for the study materials and entrance to take the test. In terms of what you get by becoming a member, you just get access to all their research that they've done in peer-reviewed articles and stuff like that. I haven't talked to too many people that have used that too much, and it's not specifically study materials for the test at all. It's just random exercise science studies and information. So after purchasing the test as a member or not as a member, you have 1 full year before it expires. So you have to take the test within that 1 year period. And like I said, a good 6 months of studying is probably required for this test, especially if you don't have any prior knowledge with kinesiology or exercise science. Yeah, so in conclusion, so it is a very sports performance-based certification. If you know you're going to be working with athletes or peak performance, this might be a good certification for you. Another good option is the NASM-PES, the Performance Enhancement Specialist. I actually think that's better than the CSCS this year in 2016. The study materials overall are very lackluster. They only have the giant textbook to be able to study from. They don't offer any online study resources like videos or flashcards or other things to go along with the textbook or anything like that, any online study materials, which I think are essential now. In 2016, everybody has like tablets and computers and phones. If you don't have any online study resources, you're kind of old school. You need to carry around the giant book. They don't even have I don't think they have a PDF version of it either. But it still is widely accepted in the industry. It's a very highly recognized certification. There is a lot of information. You do learn a lot. It's a very solid foundation to become a personal trainer. I just feel like there's other study materials and certifications that provide the same basis, but lets you learn all that information a lot easier and retain it a lot easier as well because of the study materials and packages that they provide. I also believe that like NASM and ACE are probably the highest recognized certifications in the industry right now, and they are my top 2 favorite, with NSCA being a close third in that race. So check out my article on the top 10 certifications so you can see which one is right for you. I also have a lot of information on how to get started and how to make more money in the personal training industry, as well as like study guides and stuff like that. So check out my site and please give me a thumbs up if this review is helpful. Thanks. For study guides and discount codes on some of the top personal training certifications, head to ptpioneer.com. The link will be in the description down below. I have a step-by-step guide on how to become a personal trainer, how to make a lot of money once you are a personal trainer, and much more essential information on getting started as a personal trainer for you guys to check out. Until next time, guys, happy training.